Flowers across the ocean. Lesson 1. Part 1. What can people see along the Potomac in Washington, D.C.? Do you remember your entrance ceremony? What flowers did you see on that day? Many of you may answer, cherry blossoms. The cherry trees were in full bloom. I can't forget the beautiful flowers. We can't imagine spring without cherry blossoms. They are an important part of spring for us. Some may say, cherry blossoms are the most beautiful of all flowers. I like them the best. They cheer me up. Others may say, we enjoy cherry blossom viewing every spring. It is a part of our culture. People in the U.S. also enjoy cherry blossoms. There are thousands of cherry trees along the Potomac in Washington, D.C. Americans hold a festival there from late March to early April. It is the National Cherry Blossom Festival. More than 1 million people from all over the U.S. come together for the festival. It is the biggest springtime event in the U.S. But how did the great festival start? Part 2. Was it easy to plant cherry trees in the U.S.? It was the late 19th century. Some Americans visited Japan and admired the beauty of cherry blossoms. Some Japanese learned that they wanted to plant cherry trees in the U.S. They worked very hard and sent 2,000 young cherry trees to the U.S. in 1910. Sadly, the trees from Japan were infected with a disease. People in the U.S. had to burn them. The Japanese felt sad about that, but they didn't give up. I want to send new trees at all costs, thought Tokyo Mayor Ozaki Yukio. They will build a strong friendship between Japan and the U.S. In 1912, more than 3,000 new trees arrived in the U.S. 2 of them were planted in West Potomac Park. A simple ceremony was held at that time. 23 years later, many civic groups sponsored the first Cherry Blossom Festival. After that, it became an annual event. Part 3. What will continue to be a bridge between Japan and the U.S.? The U.S. wanted to show its thanks for the gift of the cherry trees. In return for them, President Taft decided to send 40 dogwood trees to Japan in 1915. Dogwood means a return present in the language of flowers. Taft thought that dogwood trees were the best return present. In 2012, the festival expanded from 16 days to 5 weeks. It was the 100th anniversary of the gift of cherry trees. Some Japanese musicians performed at the opening ceremony. 2 of them were Misia and Togi Hideki. They expressed special thanks for America's support after the 2011 earthquake. People in Japan can see dogwood flowers after cherry blossoms fall. Cherry blossoms are now a symbol of spring in the U.S. capital. People in Japan and the U.S. enjoy these 2 flowers. Flowers across the ocean will continue to be a bridge between the 2 nations.